Periodically, I like to give advice and try and help people to which the best I can. Um, all things being considered, of course, including the fact that my advice may not always apply to you, and you might serve to benefit doing the opposite. But yada yada yada, all that caveat out of the way. Um, a lot of people, I think, they come up to me and they know I use Twitter a lot, and I think Twitter is a useful tool, and I seem to be getting a lot out of it, but are unaware of how to start their Twitter quest and what to do to start getting the things in your algorithm that you want to see. Now, I think that there's a couple things you can do to start. That Twitter can be a little intimidating when you first start out, but I would start looking for people whose opinions you respect, and then kind of go off who they're going off, and it's just kind of like a domino effect, how you find people that you once knew before, and they're posting frequently, and then frequent poster and frequent people related to them who are posting, and it's just kind of a domino effect that takes you into all kinds of places. You can also hashtag and start searching by topics, and then following people from the thing, and even if they don't like what you even if you don't like what they say, you could see the comments and see who is providing the best argument against them, and then go into searching for that person. And it doesn't happen overnight, but it's a very useful tool for information and news. And one thing it is not so good for, and one thing that my legit piece of advice that I want to offer you if you're first getting onto Twitter, is to not check any of your replies or comments. And it's kind of weird with one of those things where either the most good or the most bad things kind of get up to the most, and the best arguments get attacked the most. Shit like that, when you're first starting, it's not really going to do any good to you to have Jeff742567829 coming at you about some minuscule point that maybe you didn't get completely right, and having to go down the path of trying to rationally argue with someone who just doesn't really give a shit in the first place. So that's my number one tip of advice, is if you're first starting on Twitter, don't read replies, don't read comments, leave comments, follow things, take a few months, search some hashtags, and get some followers who post frequently. You do not want to follow someone. They might have a lot of followers, but what are they posting? Are they posting by themselves? Is it just promotion? Shit like that. You want to post people who are posting thoughts and things on a daily basis, and on not just promoting shit. Hope that helps you on your start of your Twitter journey. No comments. Blind yourself from them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the World According to Kyle podcast. What's up, everybody? Another fine day. If you want to follow me on your fine social media platforms, I'm on YouTube at TWA2K. I'm on Twitter at Kyleverse. I'm on TikTok, Kyleverse. I'm on Instagram, KyleMax86, Reddit, TWA2K. If you have questions or topics you would like to see covered on the show, slide into one of my DMs. For now, you can catch me on YouTube and Spotify and iHeartRadio. Also, my private RSS feed. search up TWA2K. All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm doing great, and you know why? Is because I was just checking the episode numbers, and I'm already on 34. I had a real big setback of a year, and the goal was to get to 37. So, like, I could legit maybe get there right now. This is 4, so 5, 6, 7. I would have to get 4 more out before the end of the year. Now, I mean, I had some personal drama affecting my life this year, and had to take a lot of weekends off, much more than I expected and anticipated. So, you know, I'm glad I got to the number, or I'm getting up in the numbers and close to my goals, all things considered, in this year, in this maddening type of year. So, you know, we'll see what happens with the rest of this. The goal is to go video, so I should be on video the start of 2023. It's been glorious. The year's been flying by. The topics keep coming. Nothing short. You know, there's no shortage of things to riff about. That's for sure in today's day and age. Now, before we get into the you know, the more fun topics, we should kind of let's get some of the serious stuff out of the way first. Now, I did want to just have a quick PSA on a couple of these more serious topics before we have a little fun and talk about sports and the less serious matters in life. Now, the rise in anti-Semitism has been quite alarming, and really, I feel is very undeserved and unwarranted. I mean, not that any sort of racism would ever be, but it's very unwarranted and very and it's very undeserved. And it comes from a place of, I think, fear and hatred, basically. And because, you know, and I live in a Jewish community right now, and I just feel like I have not had a more kind of even though we believe in different things, the mentality and the mindset of a Jewish person and the mentality and the mindset of a Western male are very, you know, we just believe fundamentally in different things, different upbringings shaping us. But I find like despite the differences in faith and ideology, that you know, Jewish people are some of the most like great people to have in your communities. They're very intellectual, and I'm a very intellectual person. Like, and all this hate goes towards them for, you know, getting these jobs inside of like fields but they're just, I mean, the culture shaped them to be very intellectual. That's why they're good at lawyership and accounting and these things. They're very disciplined intellectually, and I am someone who values intellectualism. I like, you know, I'm a very I like athleticism also, but I can also relate to super smart people also. I'm just one of those weird people who kind of just is such a tweener, is just wedged in between, you know, rock in a hard place between the two different sides. But I can appreciate when a culture has a dedication towards academic success. There's lots of Middle Eastern, like Lebanon, that have a strong, in Greece, that have a strong dedication to intellectual, to the mind, and you can tell within the Jewish communities. I've never had a problem with Jewish people and starting shit, or like they're just always just cool with and just want to do their thing. And now let's put aside the stuff for Israel for now, and just we can have a different opinion about whether Israel is justified in taking Palestinian territory, and that can be a separate discussion. And it's really just so super unfair, the hate that they have been given, considering the past that they have had to overcome, and to be in the position that they are, Jewish people to be in the position that they are, considering, despite the tragic past that they have had, to be to be on the world stage and be like teachers and lawyers, and really have a strong basis for developing or for finding their place inside of democratic society. And there's always examples of the opposite, and super funky Jewish people and super sporty Jewish people, and that's why it's all about how you integrate and how you behave in your societies. And there's never anybody I've seen who've been just more chill and not having to worry about, despite the differences that we may have in faith. I don't worry about a hostile revolution happening by my Jewish brothers and sisters. So I just want to get that out of the way really quick. It's a shame, and these people who are spouting this hatred and this nonsense, you don't have a right to be on these platforms. And it's just like if a bouncer doesn't want you at a bar, you don't have the right to be platformed and spread like bigotry and hatred, and that's up to the platform, not up to you. And it is not a infringement on your free speech rights. It just makes the environment more palatable for the most amount of people who would be on that said network. Now the there's two other tragic kind of news stories. Try and get through them relatively quickly. There was that guy, the journalist who was covering soccer in Qatar. He was wearing a rainbow pride shirt, and he was asked to take it off while he was there. I guess he was detained while he was there. He was released from being detained, and he has recently just died while covering a soccer match. Now, to look at something like that and not suspect foul play, or like to say he died of natural causes would be the skeptic's position, I would say. But that being said, I mean, you have to understand the place you're going into and the country you're going into, and they don't they don't have to do things your way, our way, and the way we do things in the West with tolerance and that doesn't fly everywhere. And a lot of these places are super traditionalist, and you just like the next topic we're going to bring up too is about this exactly. Why would you go somewhere if they hate gay people? And then protest and make a point of yourself while you're there. Now, do I think gay people have a harder time in a place like that? Yes. Do I think that it's not fair to them? Yes. Do I think that these sorts of discrimination should be tolerated? Yeah, I do not believe the discrimination should be tolerated. But different places and different cultures come to realizations at different times, and just be happy that you're in a place where you're not just where doing something like that is a big deal. Okay, by going and doing this sort of grandstanding in a country that is not cool with it, that's not, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a great look on us, regardless of what happens to you. And I think if what happened in Qatar is that the guy just got sent home, I would have thought really well of Qatar, because he was clearly going and trying to ruffle some feathers a little bit, and you're just not understanding the place you're in and where you're from, and like how lucky you should consider where the place that you're living in, and being able to hold these thoughts and protest. You owe it to yourself. I was telling my buddy this the other day. I say you owe it to yourself to understand any country you're traveling through and their geopolitical happenings of the moment, and especially a place where you're gonna be residing, whether it be for a couple days or a couple weeks. You're really doing a disservice to yourself to not understand the culture, the current political climate and dynamics happening inside of that culture. And did that guy know what he was doing would ruffle some feathers? 100% yes, he did. 100% yes, he did. Does that make it fair that he likely got killed doing it? No. But I mean, what do you want? What do you want to do? You go to another country and parade your values around when you know that they're not cool with it, and they're trying to hold people on a world stage to celebrate sport, which it brings people together. Okay, and I do think it's a factor of human rights, if you're allowed to be gay or not, if you're allowed to do a lot of things. It is a factor of human rights. These places have not advanced to that point, and there's a lot of flaws with their society because of that. All you can do is be the best example of who you are over here. Stop trying to, because that creates more hostility than it solves going over there. And, it was a good thing that Qatar hosted a World Cup and had all these countries there, and it wasn't a complete debacle. And we can see signs that it's starting to get along. And then you go there and you're trying to be like a turd in the punch bowl. You should, it's expected that something like that would happen. Doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. But what? Do you want us to start World War III because you went to a place that you knew had strict laws against who you are? Or same thing with the dude in North Korea. You're going to go to a place and try and steal a propaganda poster where there's a dictator who controls everything and try and embarrass them and make them look bad, and then fucking, oh geez, now my human rights are being violated. You owe it to yourself to know the political happenings of any country that you pass through, let alone go to for a extended period of time. And the same thing applies to Brittany Griner. Now, could that CBD or whatever been planted? Yes, for sure. Even if it is against Russian law and she didn't know, it certainly could have been planted there. But I'm not even gay, and I wouldn't step foot near Russia in the last 10 years because of their teetering towards dictatorship and these extreme anti-Western sentiments coming out of there. Now, I understand that they're paying you to play basketball in this league, but I mean, at a certain point in time, there's no amount of money that's worth your life, is there? Like, you make a couple $100,000 extra living there, but you know who you are, and you know what type of country that is, and you know that the type of power that the leadership has there, and they don't necessarily have fair courts for human rights, and we just have to be a good example over here. We have to be a good example over here. We cannot expect the rest of the world to adopt this new age morality and accept it. What you do is give your money and your time and your personal energy to the places who are accepting of you. Don't try and change places that aren't, or be surprised when you get in a situation, in a political situation that you can't come back from. It's always good to make a point, but at a certain point, you're making your country look bad because you are trying to force your views onto another culture and another group of people. And if they really wanted it that bad, they would fight for it. And now, some of their levels of control are not what they are, but a country doesn't owe anything to you. But to be there, you owe it to yourself to know enough about your country where you're not gonna, or know enough about the country you're going into to not ruffle any feathers, right? At least I'd hope so. So that's it. Let's finish those. That was a long ass PSA. Holy shit! But I felt it was necessary to kind of hash out the TWA2K positions on the stupid shit happening around me before we get into some of the fun topics. So, fellas, I don't know if you tuned in for my last podcast, but I was watching. It was kind of me watching the Bengals game live when they were playing the Chiefs. So it was quite an emotional roller coaster, as you could imagine if you followed the game at all. Now, I had some kind of post-game thoughts, and I just wanted to share them really quick. I was quite, if you followed all the way through, which, Lord have mercy if you, if you did, you would have seen that I was quite upset at the end of the game. Now, it turned out it worked out for the Bengals, but it was not as good as it could have been. We could have really put a boot to their throat there. Now let's leave aside a couple of the missed opportunities earlier and just talk, and we'll focus on the end of the game. Like Boyd dropped the touchdown, which was 4 points. Taylor went for it on fourth instead of kicking a guaranteed field goal with Evan McPherson. You probably should have took the points there, but I could understand going for it. It was like short enough distance away. But when you think it's going to be a close game, just take the points, right? If you think it's going to be, if you think this game is going to be decided by less than a touchdown, then you got to take the points. If you see it any other way, then go for it. But always remember, if it's a close game, just take the points. Take the points. So let's leave those plays aside. Again, the Boyd dropped touchdown and the deciding to go for it instead of kicking the 3 points with Evan McPherson. Now, and this is what has upset me before about Zach Taylor. Is his end of game game management. Now Burrow bailed him out there, and on that 3rd and 11 pickup with the perfect throw, and bailed him out also with the perfect catch. But this was not a strategically well executed. And all these coaches want to talk about execution for the players. What about for you guys? Where's your execution and where's your cuz I distinctly remember when that second down play hit. It was so Bengals got a penalty on the play and it came back. Now Bengals got a penalty on the play. And it came back, right? And Zach Taylor, the clock was running because the play was stopped in bounds, and Zach Taylor takes a timeout. He takes a timeout on with 1:59 left instead of running the clock down. Like when there was like 4 minutes left and we're driving and we're picking up first downs, you got to be all like, Kansas City drains all of their timeouts. Time is their killing time is their enemy at that point. And you got to be able to understand when you're shifting towards that frame of mind. Now, calling a timeout with 1:59 left instead of running the clock. Now, let's imagine 3 scenarios. Now, the first scenario is that T. Higgins picks up the down, right? So T. Higgins picks up the down. Okay, it's you don't have to worry about anything. You can knee it. Now, the second scenario is T. Higgins catches it, or a runner runs it, and it's in bounds, and they stay in bounds, but they don't pick up the first down. Now, you want the clock running in that situation because Kansas City does not have any timeouts. And you can run the clock, and you can just say P. Ryan caught it on a swing on that third down play and picked up 5 yards. Now, if the clock was running from before, now here's what you wanted to do. You wanted to let that clock run down to its very last second and then call a timeout after that second down play. You want to run the clock down and then call a timeout. Now, you should not be calling a timeout in that situation. You should drain the clock as much as humanly possible. That should be your main goal when you're in that situation. Now, Joe Burrow bailed you out with an incredible throw on 3rd and 11. But we just got to be smarter about these end of game precision things. Like you cannot the difference. Okay, the difference between leaving Mahomes 2 minutes and leaving Mahomes like 45 seconds is astronomical. Zach needs to understand what he's working with here, because we have a defense that I don't actually mind Mahomes going up against. They can make a play, they can stop a gap, they can force a fourth down, they can make it tough on them. Now, there's not many defenses in the league that I would trust to do that against a great quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. But the lesser the amount of time you leave on that, like, the defense can bail you out all the time, and they have been. But you have to make life as easy as possible on them. That's why I loved it when Joe Burrow had that nice long drive, and then it just gave the defense all this time to like rest up. Because I know when our defense is rested up and has it and is coming out there with full energy, that they're going to be a problem for even the best of quarterbacks to cut up, right? Now, for the Zach Taylor report card, I would say earlier in the season it was like an F or a D, but it has been improving, and it's gone to like kind of a C. Now, I don't need an A from Zach Taylor. You have great players around you, but I need a C or a B every game, and I just want to see like him finish out a game or finish a game perfectly without any mistakes. And it's been a lot better. Here, let me say one great thing he's done is that he's put Burrow in shotgun, and that is like with the offensive line playing well, and you figured out where Burrow is best at. Burrow is best at having time and assessing the situation. And I'm a play action guy, and I still think you should use play action on a you should always fake it sometimes, because that just helps move the safeties up and stuff like that. You shouldn't never do play action. But I mean, to have Burrow as a standard, as a general rule of thumb, to have Burrow operating out of shotgun is perfect. That adjustment from under center to shotgun was a really marvelous move. And the utilization of Pirine is an awesome move also. And I think when Mixon is back, it should be more of a 50-50 split between Mixon and Pirine. Now, here's how I break it down, and I want to tell you how I break it down. Mixon is a back when we want one. Pirine is a back when we need one. That is, if you follow that as a rule of thumb, I do not think we would be for the worse with that strategy. So maybe it could be like a kind of 50-50 split where it's one series and then the other series, but it's always with football. If someone's hot, feed the hot hand, right? If Pirine's hot, feed him. If Mixon's hot, feed him. There should never be some sort of dedicated, let's go to this amount of time, etc., etc. So I'm happy. I got my Bengals future to win the Super Bowl. If you guys have been following, that is the play that we gave out at the beginning of the year. the Bengals at 20-1 minimum to win the Super Bowl. And right now they're currently 12-1. And it's kind of sad that they have like the Vikings and San Francisco and like Philadelphia ahead of them, which is just ridiculous. Like, yeah, I mean, I almost was considering, and I don't know whether this is me getting into crypto too much lately, but I was like almost FOMOing it back into the Bengals at some 12-1 because I got them at 20-1. It's like, and you know, if they win this game and the Jets catch Buffalo, like Bengals will be the second team probably. But I don't know. It's you know, Vegas is always very, you know, very weird. They're very weird with the NFL and how they're doing things. Like the Vikings are +2 at Detroit, and the Vikings are like 10-2, and Detroit's like fucking like 5-5 or 4-5 or some shit like that. I don't know, like. They just do weird things, like always favoring Jacksonville also, despite the fact that they're always playing bad. And one more thing that I wanted to touch on before we conclude the sports section of the show is Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker Mayfield hopped on the field after, you know, having you know, going away from the Carolina Panthers and going away with Cleveland. And now he goes and comes back from a 16-3 lead and leads his team to the victory after just getting sent there that week. Like, but you know, he goes and he's like headbutting guys without his helmet on. Now, you know, I can kind of see like Sean McVay like reacting to this, like, "Hey Baker, man, Baker, hey Baker, love the energy. I love the energy, Baker. You know, just one thing, Baker. One thing, Baker. Can you stop trying to give yourself a concussion? Now, I mean, love the energy, you know, but just try not to give yourself a concussion. You know, that'd be great. Yeah, but that'd be great. Like, keep doing that touchdown stuff, though. But the whole helmet to the head, the head smashing into the helmet, you know, Baker's not that good. So, love the energy, Baker. Again, love the energy. Just with the helmet to the head stuff? No. Like that like how fucking, like, that's ridiculous. Like, he's so like the guy who's wearing the helmet was just like, you know, you're gonna give the guy who's wearing the helmet a concussion because he's not expecting you like a fucking like a fucking mental patient to smash your bare head against his helmet. His neck snapped back because like you're so fucking like ridiculous. Like, that's the thing you know, is about Baker, and I'm happy for Baker. I kind of was a little bit of a Baker hater before. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, he definitely is showing out, and he's definitely, I think he's got more potential than a lot of other quarterbacks. I think whoever had him play while injured for that year in Cleveland, and I know athletes always want to go, but that really hurt Baker's development, is playing with that injured shoulder that last year in Cleveland, because he was just not himself there, and seeing him like just always like you know, struggling to throw or throwing short yardage shit, that really stagnated Baker's development, I think, and probably should have been handled a lot better. But, you know, I'm happy for Baker, even though I was a little bit of a hater. But, I mean, you know, I was a hater for him at the number one pick, that's for sure. But he's got a lot more potential than most of the other quarterbacks, and you know, I can kind of see him reaching the peak of his potential and having a good career. But yeah, first things first, maybe stop trying to give yourself a concussion. Yeah. Hey, and I got to give you guys a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a sneak peek at how the show might look with live going on. Now, I'm just recording a quick little promo video for TikTok. As you can see, I'm wearing my Bengals black Joe Burrow jersey and my Bengals cap. While we're recording this, it is Joe Burrow's birthday today. It's happy birthday, Joe Shiesty, Joe Cool, whatever want a Joe you want to call this guy. But yeah, this is a TikTok promo video. Check me out, TWA2K everywhere. Later. So, yeah, now that we got that promo out of the way, we're good to go. I find it's always helpful to record a TikTok promo. Just one thing you don't want to do, though, is, and I was telling my friend this, is you don't want to, TikTok is good because of its algorithms, and it's good because it is, because of how the algorithm works exactly. And, my friend joined TikTok because I was on TikTok, and he was surprised. He uploaded something at just how much views and likes something gets. And that's a good thing about TikTok, where it's not just like-based and who gets the most amount of likes has the most amount of plays. TikTok is a more randomized algorithm, where if you pick something up and you start going through your TikTok, there's an equal chance of your video being there as there is to someone else's, and they just play videos at no particular bias towards impressions or likes or anything like that. So it's kind of cool how it operates as an algorithm. But I was telling my friends, the one thing you don't want to do with TikTok is be very specific about the places that you're at. Make sure there's no like address signs or no signs of where you are at and located at the particular frame of time, especially if you're doing it live. I would say in general not to, but especially if you're doing it live, because you know TikTok is from China, and China has a more, what is this? All right, geez, my apologies, folks. There was a fire alarm in the building in which I am currently residing. So back to where we left off. So yeah, TikTok is you want to just be careful about the information that you're putting out there and making sure that there's no specific details about anything being uploaded, because you know it's ran by the Chinese government. Corporations and the government are, you know, a lot more embedded with each other than they are out here, and so they don't have to adhere to the same sort of you know, antitrust and same sort of you know, consumer rights and rights for people and stuff, because sadly that is what happens when you allow governments and businesses to get together and do what they want, and you don't have an alternative to change it. Yeah. So, anyways, but that being said, I mean, like, I think that should be a rule of thumb, regardless of where you're posting, is to not post specific information live about where you are doing it. I always post my shit after the fact. I'll like post it a day later or whatever. Not necessarily for this podcast, because it's better off to release it as soon as possible, but I'm also not giving out specific information that you could data mine and, you know, scam off of whatever. And like, yeah, that's the thing, is just know what you're working with. Like, these people who go on Twitter and then just try and push it to see how much hatred and hate speak they can get away with. I'm trying to stretch for an analogy to be able to qualify this. It's like, what do you people do when you first buy guns? Do you try it out by shooting yourself in the head first, and then you complain about they don't have a safety mechanism in order for me to not shoot myself in the head? What the hell, gun company? Because that's the impression that I get by seeing many people operate on social media. It's like, oh yeah, what's the most hateful thing I could possibly say on this platform, and then act like my rights are getting violated. Who could have saw this coming? So yeah, the next time you see someone with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, tell them to blame the company that the gun manufacturer, for not putting a safety mechanism for them to not shoot themselves in the head, because that's what the free speech absolutists are purporting on the internet. Oh, now here's a thing I wanted to riff about was good bus driver, bad bus driver. Now, the good bus driver. So let's start with the good one. Okay, so I was there are on the bus that I was taking, there are these bus lanes, and they're just for the buses specifically, and you go the bus just you just go on them, and you have an open lane, and then all the people who are stuck in traffic jams, you just wave at them and say, you're depressed and spending $500 a month to destroy the environment, and and you could be spending that money a lot better, but bye. Have fun waiting in traffic. And then so you go, so we are cruising down the bus lane, right? And there's this kind of guy who's hovering the very edge of his lane. Looks like he's attempting to breach to go to the bus lane, because he is just on that white dotted line on the left-hand side as we're coming. So the bus driver is he sees this, right? I'm in the very front seat, in the left-hand or right-hand side, sorry, because the left-hand side's where the driver, and I had a clear view of everything. And so we're approaching, and the driver just has this, there are moments that pop up, and if you take mushrooms, you know about these, that where it's just you can sense something not bad is going to happen, but something bad could potentially happen. And the driver is just sensing this, and he's I know this motherfucker ain't about to just fucking jump out in front of me like a fucking suicidal maniac. And so he's so I notice him hit the brake and edge along a little slowly, and aware of as we're approaching it. And I am in the front seat where this where on the right hand side, where the car is about to where the car is the most close to and about to pop out. And actually it wasn't a car, it was a truck. It was a roofing truck or some sort of business, just a standard white pickup truck, but with a business on it. I think it was roofing. Anyways, so all of a sudden, so our driver's just edging along. All of a sudden, when we're right about to pass him, boom, he fucking darts out and hits the bus lane to try and get through to the left turn lane quicker, which is a tactic of a lot of moronic drivers in Toronto. And so our bus driver knew this was a possibility that it was going to happen based on how that close that driver was and how he was moving and stuff like this. He calculated it as a potential to happen. And that's all life is about, folks. It's about potentials, possibilities, and probabilities. This, while it was like a 5%, it was still up there. It was still up there. And so the bus driver stopped. The bus driver got on his radio, made a report of exactly what happened. And there's no more of a boss way that you can that you could have handled the situation. And I'm a firm believer that Canadians say sorry and thank you too much. And I reserve my thank yous and my sorries for times where I really genuinely mean them. Because you shouldn't just say these as like verbal vomit coming out of your mouth to just kind of, oh, hey, it means nothing. So when I was leaving on the bus, I said, hey, you handled that situation about as good as you possibly could have. So thank you very, very much, because I was in the right-hand seat where the driver would have smashed into had he decided to go through. Our bus driver, when he popped through, and he did run through, stopped and honked the horn at him, and he still said "fuck you" and passed. But who knows if that would have nobody's wearing seatbelts on the bus, and if it comes at you just never know. And that's where I want to transition into the bad driver section of the bad bus driver section of this. Is that the bus driver that I can't stand is a bus driver who acts like he doesn't know that there are people without seatbelts on the goddamn bus. They are very jerky. They are very finicky. They stop quick. They accelerate quick. You do know there are literally people not wearing seatbelts in this fucking vehicle. At a certain point, you have to go through a yellow. You can't fucking slam your foot to the emergency brake, because fucking people are gonna fucking die fucking breaking their neck flying forward. So yeah, do realize there are people on your bus not wearing seatbelts, and adjust your driving accordingly, as if that needs to be said at all. There's another situation where this was kind of in between both of those. So we're approaching a intersection, and there's a guy who looks like very neo-Nazi, who is on the road, just walking on the road. And he's in the middle of the road, and he's trying to get the bus to slow down for him to get on. And it's not a proper bus stop. It's the middle of a goddamn intersection, right? And so she honks at him. So first mistake is honking at him, because he knows what he's doing. Unless he's blackout drunk, he knows what he's doing. And he's trying to start shit, and so he tries to get on the bus, and she's not letting him on the bus. So he's just there and fucking walking in the middle of a goddamn highway and pissing people off. So she honks at him first, pisses him off, gets him to try and get onto our bus to do God knows what. She doesn't fucking open the door for him, thank fuck. But you started that situation by honking at him. And she didn't finish it because she didn't report. She didn't radio. She didn't say, hey, there's a fucking Nazi punk lunatic in the middle of fucking the street trying to fight vehicles. Like, I decided to honk at him, but that was as far as I would go. If you're gonna honk at him and piss him off, why aren't you not reporting it? Like, he should be off of the road, but you're just gonna you're gonna honk at him, piss him off, and then leave, and then not report that there's an insane lunatic fucking. So that was a bit of a every single decision she made was wrong. I would have just drove by him, radioed in, say, hey, there's a potential Nazi, a 100% punk in the middle of a highway on yada yada and yada yada place, and we need somebody here immediately so that he doesn't die getting run over or jack someone's car. Please and thank you. So that was kind of a little mix of both. So this is and it's the same thing as the coaching we were telling about, is how do you react in pressure situations? Like that, pressure situations really matter and what you do inside of them. A lot of people get tense and they shrink and they back away from their principles and stuff when shit starts getting intense, right? All right, another thing that has been pissing me off lately is that people don't. I don't know whether it's a new thing or what, but people don't understand how to use a word respectively. So for instance, I see a lot on Twitter where somebody is saying something and they say it respectively, but it means they're trying to say it in terms of oh, I respect your opinion, but that's not that's not what the word respectively is for. Respectively is for so this season's top passing leaders are Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Tom Brady. Then you say respectively, because respectively indicates that is the order in which they are. That is not a random order. That 1, 2, and 3 is the order that they are ranked currently. So just a little stay woke on that, everybody. Stay woke on your use of the word respectively. If it's respect-ively, then no, you're using it wrong. If it is 1, 2, 3 ively, then you're good to go. Quick little rule of thumb there. And also, I wanted to promote the use of, without mentioning any specific company, I wanted to say that, regardless of what happens, normally I'm a late to the bandwagon type of guy. I want to see the, side effects of use of something prior to really getting into it. But wireless headphones are one of those things where I'm going to bite the bullet on that. Wireless headphones, and it started with me getting a phone that does not have a jack for headphones, and I was perfectly comfortable getting the headphones with the jack, but I had a phone and it just wouldn't support that, so I had to get wireless headphones. Now, first I got the earbuds, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing, but I lost those too quickly because they're just fucking earbuds, right? So the next ones I got, which were recommended to me by a friend of mine, were the ones that have the ear support. And can I just say, wireless headphones are a life-changing invention for me. I can just ignore all the bullshit that's happening around me and do my shit and get my stuff done and just listen to people as I want to listen to them. Oh, he's saying something to me. Oh, wait, pause. Okay, what do you have to say to me? They're just like, I cannot say enough good about them. And oh, well, people weren't railing about earbuds before. Now, wireless headphones, they're going to ruin your hearing. But they weren't saying shit about earbuds before. It's probably because they're the people who are talking to the people who are wearing the wireless headphones. But, I have to say, if wireless headphones or earbuds are destroying my hearing, they're not working fast enough. I have to. I hear every little fucking speck of bullshit people be talking about. The only difference is if I got a sick song playing in my ears while I'm doing it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been great, but that's about all the time I got for you. I am actually going to be celebrating my birthday today. My birthday isn't till Wednesday, but, when it's a Wednesday, you either got to pick the weekend before or the weekend after, because ain't nobody coming out in a, middle of December Wednesday. So you got to pick a weekend, and we picked this weekend, and I just happen to have my friends be able to come on for this day, which also happens to be Joe Burrow's birthday, which is why I'm wearing his jersey. So whether you're a Burrow, whether you're a TWA2K follower or not, whatever, December babies, we rule. I know it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was the World According to Kyle podcast. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.